Hello, beautiful souls. So today's lesson is a mighty one, reminding us that salvation of the world depends on me. Salvation of the world depends on me. You know, to the ego, this is scary. How could the salvation of the world possibly depend on me? Well, as being what you are as God created, your natural function here is salvation, which is synonymous with forgiveness or atonement or whatever we want to call it. And so, this is beautiful. Salvation of the world depends on me. Thank you, Father, for creating me in your likeness. Here is one statement that will one day take all arrogance away from every mind. Here is the thought of true humility, which holds no function as your own, but that which has been given you. It offers your acceptance of a part assigned to you without insisting on another role. It does not judge your proper role. It but acknowledges the will of God is done on earth as well as heaven. It unites all wills on earth in heaven's plan to save the world, restoring it to heaven's peace. This truly is a humbling thought that we can accept in true humility, that the salvation of the world depends on me. And this is not a thought of arrogance, because this is a true statement. Salvation of the world depends on me, that has been given me by God. So it's not made up by the mind as a false representation of what we are, but it is given us as a gift from God because it is our true reality. And all that this thought does is it recognizes our worth and our brother's worth simultaneously, which truly allows heaven to be on earth as God intended it to be. So this is where God's peace is, in this thought, in this truth, and not settling for anything less. Let us not fight our function. We did not establish it. It is not our idea. The means are given us by which it will be perfectly accomplished. All that we are asked to do is to accept our part in genuine humility and not deny with self-deceiving arrogance that we are worthy. What is given us to do, we have the strength to do. Our minds are suited perfectly to take the part assigned to us by one who knows us well. Indeed, it is the truth. I like this thought here. What is given us to do, we have the strength to do. Our minds are perfectly suited to take the part assigned to us by one who knows us well. And so what we truly are can easily and perfectly accept what our part is that has been assigned to us by God, because He is the one who truly knows us as we are. So we will have the strength to complete what He has given entirely. Today's idea may seem quite sobering until you see its meaning. All it says is that your Father still remembers you and offers you the perfect trust He holds in you who are His Son. It does not ask that you be different in any way from what you are. What could humility request but this? And what could arrogance deny but this? Today we will not shrink from our assignment on the spacious grounds that modesty is outraged. It is pride that would deny the call of God Himself. So Jesus is giving us the reassurance not to shy away from this idea. Don't follow along with the thought that says you are unworthy of the gifts that God has given you. Because we are being assured here that it is God that has called to us, and it is God that we are answering. And all we need do is say yes to our part in God's plan for salvation of the world. And our part is needed to complete the salvation of the world, because all of us as His sons have a part in it. How can we not, as being what we are? All false humility we lay aside today. that we may listen to God's voice reveal to us what He would have us do. We do not doubt our adequacy for the function He will offer us. We will be certain only that He knows our strengths, our wisdom, and our holiness. And if He deems us worthy, so we are. It is but arrogance that judges otherwise. Wow. There is one way, and only one way, to be released from the imprisonment your plan to prove the false is true has brought you. Because this is it. We have a plan to prove that the salvation of the world depends on me is not true. Because our plan, any other plan other than God's, is made to assert the throne of God. So we are recognizing here today, through the guidance of our brother Jesus in these words, there is one way, and only one, to be released from the imprisonment your plan to prove the false is true has brought you. Accept the plan you did not make instead. This is crucial. Accept the plan you did not make instead. Judge not your value to it. If God's voice assures you that salvation needs your part and that the whole depends on you, be sure that it is so. The arrogant must cling to words, afraid to go beyond them, to experience which might affront their stance. Yet are the humble free to hear the voice which tells them that they are what they are and what to do. Beautifully stated, Jesus. And what I'm seeing here is basically much like this course, so are we. That the whole is in every part, right? So we are seen as separate parts as being in bodies here, but the whole of God is in all of us. So that makes it truly holographic. What is true is holographic, right? It's continual and it's unending, and it includes everyone. And so what we are recognizing here is that we are to not judge the value that we have put on something. We are not to accept our own small little part anymore. We are here to accept the part that God has given us in the plan for salvation of the world, which is our own salvation as well. And so it is only arrogance that will cling to the words that are being shared here and shy away from them as if they are untrue. So let yourself today be present to move beyond the words and into the experience so that you truly can move into that humbled heart space to allow yourself to hear the voice for God, which will tell you what you are and which will tell you what to do. So we are told everything we need to know when we are willing to listen to that voice of God's plan. Arrogance makes an image of yourself that is not real. It is this image which quails and retreats in terror, as the voice of God assures you that you have the strength, the wisdom, and the holiness to go beyond all images. You are not weak, as is the image of yourself. You are not ignorant and helpless. Sin cannot tarnish the truth in you, and misery can come not near the holy home of God. All this the voice for God relates to you. And as He speaks, the image trembles and seeks to attack the threat it does not know, sensing its basis crumble. Let it go. Salvation of the world depends on you and not upon the little pile of dust. What can it tell the Holy Son of God? Why need He be concerned with it at all? And so we find peace. We will accept the function God has given us. For all illusions rest upon the weird belief that we can make another for ourselves. Our self-made roles are shifting, and they seem to change from mourner to ecstatic bliss of loved and loving. We can laugh or weep and greet the day with welcome or with tears. Our very being seems to change as we experience 1,000 shifts in mood, and our emotions raise high indeed or dash us into the ground in hopelessness. as I pause for a second before we go on, because this is so much to take in, Jesus is showing us the contrast in our thought system with this last paragraph, right? That we will also, in accepting illusions for ourselves, we have made these shifting roles that seem to change from mourner to ecstatic bliss of being loved and loving. It goes from weeping and crying to truly laughing. It is this cycle of back and forth, what I like to call the roller coaster. We're taking ourselves on a roller coaster. And we take ourselves on this roller coaster when we are accepting a self that we created, when we are accepting a self that we made up about us. This small self is not what we are. We are here being reminded that the voice for God will remind us of what we truly, truly are, which is how we can let that thought system crumble that is holding on to the false self because we don't want it anymore. And once we let the thought of the false self crumble, so does the true self of God replace it, and there we are in the state of peace and joy that God has freely given us. And so, this shifting back and forth experience of the roller coaster life, some days happy, some days sad, Jesus asks, is this the Son of God? Could he create such instability and call it Son? He who is changeless shares his attributes with his creation. All the images his Son appears to make have no effect on what he is. All images that the Son of God appears to make, have no effect on what he is. So no matter what any Son of God, which is all of us, does here in this world, good or bad, up or down, is irrelevant, because none of it have an effect on what we are. They blow across his mind like windswept leaves that form a pattering an instant, break apart to group again, and scamper off. Or like mirages seen above a desert rising from the dust. These unsubstantial images will go and leave your mind unclouded and serene when you accept the function given you. The images you made give rise to but conflicting goals, impermanent and vague, uncertain and ambiguous. Who could be constant in his efforts, or direct his energies and concentrated drive towards goals like these? These functions which the world esteems are so uncertain that they change 10 times an hour at their most secure. It is awesome. What hope of gain can rest on goals like this? Jesus is saying, what are you asking for, brother? These are the goals that you have set for yourself, which are shifting and changing and up and down and backwards and sideways. Ooh, my darkness popped out. Oh, it's just what it is. No. No, right? We are here recognizing that there's another goal that we can share that brings us straight into the heart of God, that brings us straight into the happiness and peace that never changes. And that's what we're wanting. That's what we're asking for. But until we realize that what we're truly asking for is the peace and the love of God, we need to realize that we're asking for these shifting goals of uncertainty and impermanence and ambiguous and sad and crazy and dark. We don't want that, but we need to realize we're choosing that in order to let it go. So, in lovely contrast, certain as the sun's return each morning to dispel the night, your truly given function stands out clear and wholly unambiguous. There is no doubt of its validity. It comes from one who knows no error. This is crucial. This comes from one who knows no error. God does not know the errors of this world. God does not know the errors of what anyone has ever done here, now, in the past, in the future. God knows us only as his innocent Son of God. That is the only way he knows us. And his voice is certain of its messages. They will not change, nor be in conflict. All of them point to one goal and one you can attain. So all of this is pointing to one goal, and that goal you can attain. Your plan may be impossible, but God's can never fail because he is its source. He's speaking to us directly. Your plan may be impossible, but God's can never fail because he is its source. Do as his voice directs. And if it asks a thing of you that seems impossible, remember who it is that asks and who would make denial. Whoo! That's crucial for me, right? Do as his voice directs. And if it asks a thing of you that seems impossible, remember who it is that asks and who makes denial. The ego denies. It's the Holy Spirit that asks you to do these things to save the world. Then consider this. Which is more likely to be right? The voice that's asking you to do what you think is impossible, or the voice that is denying that is possible? The voice that speaks for the Creator of all things, who knows all things exactly as they are, or a distorted image of yourself, confused, bewildered, inconsistent, and unsure of everything. Let not this voice direct you. Hear instead a certain voice which tells you of a function given you by your Creator, who remembers you and urges that you now remember him. God is urging you to now remember him so he can give you your part to play. So listen to this powerful voice of love within you. Listen to this powerful voice of reason within you, because it is there speaking to you to tell you what your part is. Yep. His gentle voice is calling from the known to the unknowing. We're here in this world unknowing, so it's calling from the known to the unknowing. He will comfort you, although he knows no sorrow. He would make a restitution, though he is complete. A gift to you, although he knows that you have everything already. He has thoughts which answer every need. His Son perceives, although he sees them not. For love must give, and what is given in his name takes on the form most useful in a world of form. He will come to form in whatever way is most useful in form. Yep. These are the forms which never can deceive, although they come from formlessness itself. Forgiveness is an earthly form of love, which as it is in heaven, has no form. Yet what is needed here is given here as it is needed. In this form, you can fulfill your function even here. Although what love will mean to you when formlessness has been restored to you is greater still. Salvation of the world depends on you who can forgive. Such is your function here. Because our function here is to forgive, our function here is salvation of the world. And so, beautiful souls, let's today sit with the thought of the day. Salvation of the world depends on me, and contemplate it a while. If you become witness to thoughts of unworthiness, or no, not me, no, not ready, no, not yet, no, I'm not good enough, whatever thoughts cross your mind, know that those are coming from the mind of denial. They're coming from the mind of ego. They are not your true reality. And so listen again, listen deeper, for the voice for God that is present there that will remind you of your function here, and let you truly transform the formless into the form through your vision, allowing you to see truly who you are and what you are to do next and what is going on here. So you have certainty of purpose, certainty of what you are, so you can carry that certainty with you and give it to others around the world who need it, who truly need your help. So today, beautiful souls, salvation of the world depends on you who can forgive. Such is your function here. Such is your function here. We're learning to forgive. So sit with today's thought and let it marinate in your mind to show you the truth of your reality. I love you, beautiful souls. We're in this together.